Roger Dodger.
Multiplayer. Multi-pass. Ooh, I got a massage on my phone.
Multi-pass.
Oh, Talking Sith is live. I know! Thanks, phone!
Oh, cool.
Alright, let's see. Let's do some hero hunt.
Let's see. Whoa.
Oh, I know what to do. You know what to do. Let's do some of that junk inside my trunk.
Should probably get the junk out of your trunk.
Searching.
Alright, we're I'm sorry, we're live streaming. I'm like reading articles and not paying attention.
Way to go, Chaz.
Sorry, I do this every time we start. I'm always like in another realm, and I'm like, oh wait, we're doing stuff now.
Exiled in the Shadow Realm.
Right. So this week, Battlefront 2, we got the beta date, which is cool. Exciting news. D23 is right around the corner.
Yeah. New trailer. Yeah. I don't know how many times you've seen Spider-Man, but there was not a trailer in either of the times.
I know.
I haven't seen Spider-Man yet, and how was it?
Tomorrow's my third trip, so it was okay.
It's a 10 out of 10. So good.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I can't wait to see it. That'll be good. D23s are coming out, and we're actually gonna get Spider-Man. We're gonna get news for the Spider-Man game, news for Kingdom Hearts, and news for Battlefront. So that all gets live streamed. Yeah, all that's getting live streamed this Saturday at 3 o'clock our time. They put us all on the same team against no one.
Yeah.
This has the most ridiculous matchmaking ever. Oh my god, I can't wait until
it just kicked me.
I'll back out.
It'll be nice once Battlefront 2 comes out. I'm gonna have to deal with this.
Here we go.
So
Finding a game.
I'm surprised they didn't tell me the game was full.
Yeah, right? Oh no, and then someone pops in just as he comes out. That's hilarious.
Oh.
But yeah, D23 is right around the corner, and that's gonna get live streamed. We're gonna see a little bit
of bunch
Battlefront, and
dude, I can't wait.
I'm hoping that we're gonna see a little bit of whatever other
Visceral,
whatever other game is coming out.
Yeah, they're going to focus a lot on Galaxy of Heroes, I guess, which is, I mean, if Galaxy of Heroes floats your boat, it's just not my cup of tea. So I'm not, waiting with bated breath for Galaxy of Heroes news.
Nah, they know what everyone wants, so they're just going to give us, just a little bit.
Just a taste.
Right.
Just to keep us happy.
Just a taste.
Just a taste, just a tip.
Yeah.
Just a tip. So that'll be interesting. Also, I'll be interested to see what we see out of that. I'm hoping to see a Last Jedi trailer soon, but I think that's going to also be at D23 this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm hoping that happens this weekend because I need to see a new trailer. There was a little kind of a tease. I can't remember. I think it's David or
Baraka.
Something Duvall. He's a developer for Battlefront 2, and he put out a tweet saying, responding to someone being like, "Hey, it'd be nice not to see the original trilogy, Big Three, which is Luke, Leia, and Han, and it'd be much nicer to see the prequel trilogy, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme." And then the developer responded to that, basically saying "Oh, yeah, that sounds really cool, but I'd much rather see Ahsoka over Padme," which was interesting. So kind of like a little teaser, and then he went on to say later "Oh, don't take this for certain, but it sounds like Ahsoka Tano might be in the game, which should be awesome."
Thousands of people cream their pants at once.
Yeah, And then I was talking to someone about this, and they're like, "Who's Ahsoka again?" And I was like, "Oh man!" I realized that if you don't, yeah, if you don't follow like Star Wars like other than the movies, you wouldn't really know who Ahsoka was. Like you might like associate her with Star Wars because like you've seen like pictures of her or something. Like, oh yeah, I know she's in Star Wars.
Right, she's clearly.
But you might not even know. Yeah, you might not know who she actually is and like how important she is to Star Wars. And then so this started like to get me thinking about because as I've said a bunch of times, Vader is my favorite character. So this got me thinking about Ahsoka and her importance to Star Wars in general, and how pivotal she is to letting us get to see a different side of Darth Vader while he's like training, because like that's his apprentice. So it's just really interesting, like their relationship and her like view on him, because like even up until like his like their first like meeting after he's been turned into Darth Vader, in that episode she's still like could still see the good in him and all that good stuff. So I was starting to think, and I kind of like theorized that she's definitely like his like conscience, if you were to think of her as like anything. Like she's like still the good part of Anakin that like exists in the world. Like she's like his Jedi side almost, as if he wouldn't get turned. So for those of you who don't know who Ahsoka Tano is,
regardless of whether she's in Battlefront, if you're unfamiliar with Ahsoka, go familiarize yourself. She's a good character.
Yeah, because she's definitely a really cool character, and not only just like I said, really cool. She's actually super important to Darth Vader's storyline. So she's definitely worth getting to know. But then I thought to myself, like, that probably means there's a bunch of other characters that like we don't necessarily think about, that people they just don't know who they are because they're not familiar with like the extended universe. And I was like, oh well, that's a bummer, because like I said, people really only get to know the movies for the most part. And like I said, Ahsoka is like one of those characters where I'm like, it'd be better if you got to know them a little bit more. But yeah, most of the characters that I could think of that would come out like that, like kind of jump to my brain, were out of the Clone Wars series, which if anybody, like if you haven't watched that whole thing, you should, because a lot of people watch it and at first they're like, oh, it's okay. It's kind of like, it's for kids, so just remember that. Like it is, like it gets cheesy sometimes, but it's for kids. So, but it's worth watching because you get the whole storyline out of it. But like one of those characters was Darth Maul. We got like way more of his story by watching the Clone Wars, and then another one of those stories was that I thought was really interesting was Plo Koon. I always say his name wrong.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he was cool too.
Yeah, he got like his story kind of like much more fleshed out in the Clone Wars. A lot of characters did, which was nice. So, but basically, yeah, I was just thinking how important it is to, like George Lucas made a point to make like an animated series and all this stuff for like a reason, and if you haven't had time to like go watch that stuff, you should. But really, I think one of the most like cool things about Star Wars is like that, like we've said like a million times, is how many characters there are, and like each one of them, like each character that passes like through the screen like has a name and like has a backstory, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Ahsoka Tano, I wanted to quickly, for those of you who like don't know who she is, just real quick cover like her. If you also, I don't know, have either one of you guys read her book that came out? Like there was a book that came out that was all about her, and it was really good. It was a quick read. It wasn't like anything too crazy. It was a really quick read. And it explains about how why her lightsabers are white now, after like the fall of the Jedi Order and all that stuff. She got new lightsabers, and they're like the only white lightsabers like ever. And it explains like how she got them, and I won't spoil anything, but it's really, really, really good. And like I said, it's a quick read, so if anybody gets a chance to read that, you should catch up on it, because it kind of explains way more about her than I think I ever could. But other than that, like, if you don't know much about her, she's Darth Vader's apprentice.
All you really need to know about her is, like, everyone who knows about her, like, loves her. And she
Right,
has, like,
exactly.
and that's also what I was gonna say, is like culturally she's become like I don't know, like one of the most, like, she's definitely my top 5.
She's the most, like, relatable character probably for most people out there. She's really level-headed and cool. Like,
yeah.
Everyone
Oh
loves her.
yeah, for sure. Like she is definitely like Anakin's like kid sister almost, with it when it comes to their relationship. And then, like you said, as far as her like association with Star Wars fans, she's like definitely like my top 10 Jedi. Like, she's definitely in my top 10 favorite Jedi.
Oh, yeah,
just because of she's just straight badass. Plus, if you get a chance to look up some of her lightsaber duels from the Clone Wars series, really, they were so awesome. Her dual wield is like, it's incredible.
Jeez, I finally found a game. Holy cow. That was bad.
Yeah,
I was just sitting.
It's funny how many more people are playing Battlefront now all of a sudden. But yeah, so seeing her in Battlefront 2 only wouldn't just be important to like just Star Wars fans in general, but playing as her as a character, because like if you don't know who Ahsoka Tano is and people are like, "Oh, Ahsoka Tano's coming to Battlefront 2," you're like, "Okay, cool, whatever, a new character."
Yeah.
But like you don't really understand how dope it's gonna be, because she's like gonna be insanely quick and super fast. She's like a dual wielding, like she has dual wield lightsabers. Plus, we don't know if it's going to be the older Ahsoka, and if it is, that means she's going to have the white lightsabers, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think if they're going to put her in the game, like you said, even if you don't know who she is, she's the only canon Jedi who dual wields. So that'll be the only way to ever experience it, other than playing like KOTOR or something. So
I mean,
exactly, and that's never going to feel the same.
Right.
As like playing, something newer.
Her fans deserve something like this. Like, that'd be a really cool, like, tribute
Clone
to all
Wars
the
fans in
diehard
general should
they
get
need
a Clone
someone.
Wars character.
And I heard rumors that Rex is also going to be in, which would be cool too.
Rex would be awesome. It'd be sweet to play as Rex, although I'm trying to think of his like skill set and like what
he would just be
skill
heavy.
set he would have. Yeah, maybe. That's true.
I think that
or I was thinking
Ahsoka would be cool. Cad Bane would be
tactical.
cool.
Cad Bane would be awesome. I would love to see Cad Bane.
Those would be the two characters that would be sort of unique playsets, because Cad Bane could play a lot like maybe a Boba Fett Greedo hybrid.
I feel like he'd be like a sniper, if anything.
Right.
Maybe.
So I mean,
like
they're both
setup.
more compelling, I feel like, than a lot of other characters you might get from even the movies that they could just throw in there to throw somebody in there. So that might be fun, because even for people who don't know the Clone Wars but want a fun game, those are characters that could be fun to play.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's great to have video games and stuff like that'll introduce you, because I was talking to someone today just all about Ayla Sakura and how I didn't really know who she was until I played Battlefront.
Right.
Battlefront 2, and then like now she's like seriously, I love her to death. Like, she's one of my favorite Jedis, and it's just because of the Clone Wars or because of the video game. So I'm hoping that that'll kind of be like something that gets reflected in Battlefront 2.
Yeah, you didn't get any of that in this game. Everybody in the game everybody knew who everybody was. Really, Dengar was probably the loosest character.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the bounty hunters for younger people, because I know my brother, when they came out, he was like, "Who are these people? They're awesome. I've never seen them before." And I was like, "Oh, that's right. You grew up with the prequels.
Right.
You never He's never seen the originals and doesn't like really care to, so he doesn't really know who those characters are. So for him, they were new. But yeah, you're right. For like anybody who like really loves Star Wars or like even knows the franchise a little bit,
right. There's no Kiadi-Mundis or Plo Koons in this battle.
Exactly. Yeah, and that'll be like what I really like about that for the next game is that, like I said, it'll be good for people like us who are like, oh man, it's nice to see these players or these characters in a playable setting. And then for people who don't really know who they are, it's like, oh wow, cool new Star Wars characters.
Yeah, I can learn new characters.
Right.
Yeah. So it just kind of drives you a little bit deeper into like I said, Battlefront 2 was great for like getting to like honestly like getting to know like the 501st, and like I didn't care about any stormtroopers or clone
the
troopers or
campaign helped
anything.
you care about that.
And sure. Like, and then like even going back and watching the movies, like the prequels, you don't like. There's those couple scenes with the clones that they have where they'll name a couple of the clones, and like there's that scene where Grievous and Obi-Wan finally fight or whatever, and he's like talking to one of the commanders, and I think it was Commander Cody that he was talking to in one of those scenes. So it's like you name them, but you don't really get to know who they are like ever in the movies. Like it never like
no, the
you never like cut away to a
Battlefronts
scene.
did a good job of supplementing the story without being terrible, I guess. Like you could know most of the story without playing the games, and that's cool. But if you wanted to know the whole story, you had to play Battlefront, and that's pretty cool. So I mean, doing something similar to that with everything between Force Awakens and Jedi with the Imperial storyline could be pretty neat.
Yeah.
You know, how the First Order formed or something like that. I know the books cover it, but the game letting you play through it would be a medium that a lot more people our age and younger would get their hands on before they did.
Plus it's just a different experience. Like books are just not the same experience as video games. Oh, I'm sorry, I just watched you die. I was like, oh, where's those where are those things coming from? Oh wait, no, there goes Adam, he's dead. That's like the difference between like movies and video games. It's like honestly reading about all these side characters is awesome, but getting to play as Ahsoka Tano and like cut through a bunch of droids, it's just gonna be freaking awesome. Like it's gonna
even if it's not her, anybody that just adds to the storyline will be very cool and help to repopularize it. Because Star Wars Battlefront 2 originally came out when there was no plans for any other movies, so there was a lag in the popularity, and people who weren't even huge Star Wars fans got Battlefront 2 because everybody was playing it, and it really sparked that popularity again. So I think that even if this game brings in some fans that are casual Star Wars fans, that's a win.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's like the biggest thing right now is that almost on some level, like everyone seems to be a Star Wars fan. Like if you don't like the movies, or you don't typically care for the books or this or that or whatever, you have like the experience, because at the end of the day, Star Wars is like, oh, we can geek out all about this like crazy stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just like they're pretty solid movies. And then if you take away the fact that like it's a shooter set in this universe or whatever, Battlefront 2 for PS2 was just a solid game,
right? Exactly.
Whether it be
gets
Star Wars or not
into it. And this year we're not getting a ton of shooters. I know there's some people that are feeling that
we're not.
Call of Duty is going to be great, but I'm not one of them. and there's really, I'm not right, exactly. And I'm not compelled to get Destiny. And really the only game that
that's right, Destiny's coming out. That beta is coming out for the 18th.
Yeah, really and any other shooters are just, too cookie cutter at this point. Battlefront's the only one that's going to be full campaign, full multiplayer experience, free DLC, and then a totally different universe. So I'm really more excited for Battlefront, even as a gamer, without being a Star Wars fan, than I am for any other shooter this year.
Yeah. So seeing those like you said, characters and stuff like that, that's like gonna definitely like bring us in. And then like I was also thinking what's gonna be cool is like there's, besides Finn, Phasma, Rey, and Kylo, we don't really know who else we're getting. So we might still get to see Poe in the game, which would be nice.
Right.
Luke, we know that's true. So, but the thing is like we only have one installment of that 3-part, series. Like we only have one movie, so
we have no idea who's going to be in.
And we haven't really been introduced to we haven't been introduced to that many characters. Like we got reintroduced to old characters, met a couple new characters, lost some old characters, but never really got anybody too new. Like we got a couple new characters, but we still have 2 movies left of being introduced, you know,
right.
to some new characters. Like Boba didn't come around, you know, in the first movie. And
I mean, he was
like
there. He was just in the background, and I think that could be interesting with like the bounty hunter from Maz Kanata's palace or something. They might end up being a character, or I mean, you could speculate all day. I just think that you're right that we haven't seen even like a third of the planets we're gonna see and the people we're gonna see. And
exactly. So like the maps that could be on Star Wars Battlefront 2, the characters, like they're still like what's so exciting about this game. It's like, all right, there's 3 eras of content for them to pull from, and one of them we don't even know what half the content is.
Right.
So it's like it's still like so up in the air where it's like there's like. They can't really disappoint unless it's just like
unless it's a bad shooter,
like a failure of a game. Yeah,
right.
Unless like the mechanics just don't work, and like the star card progression system just doesn't work.
Oh yeah,
unless
they can pull from anything
is...
in the world that they want to, and someone will be excited by it for sure.
Exactly. So like you can't really do any wrong when it comes to characters. That's why like some people are like worried, and I'm like, dude, don't worry. If you like Star Wars in any like realm, there's going to like maybe you might not love like some of the characters that come out for the Clone Wars era, but I guarantee you might love some of the people that are going to be for the original trilogy era. You know what I mean? So it's like you really
and it's
just
like we said last
like,
week. If there's something you don't want, don't play it. Like if you don't want to play a specific game type or a specific map or something, then simply don't. It's not that
which once again brings us back around to if you were one of those people who were against cross-era play for some weird reason, you won't be able to really like get a full experience of it if you like limit yourself to only playing in one era like at a time. Like you're gonna need that cross-era play, so that way if you're like, oh man, I don't really love the original trilogy, but I love this map on the Death Star. Like that's not going to work for you.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to work for you. So you're going to have to just be okay with cross-era play. So that's another one to add on to that that argument. But yeah, other than that, it's going to be really nice to see for those people who are really into the animated series to see some of that come over. Like we saw some of that in the movies, like in Rogue One, we saw Saw Gerrera, who originated in the animated series, and we saw Chopper. He was in that too. The little droid from Rebels was in Rogue One as well. So it's nice because we're starting to see like the universe kind of cross into each other. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I know you guys haven't read this series yet, so I'm not going to spoil it for you. But I'm definitely like promoting this for no reason other than it's super good, and there's no like benefit for me whatsoever. But read the Aftermath series because during that, I think we're going to see a little bit more gameplay footage of the story mode at D23. I think that might be what they're streaming. It'd be nice to see a little bit more of like what I don't know. I'm like I don't know. You guys have to tell me what you think about this. I'm in between. I don't know if I want to see any more footage of the story mode.
Yeah, I don't
just
mind
wanna
not
just
knowing
play it at
anything
this
about
point.
it. The fact that we know we have it and that it's lengthy is enough for me. I don't need to see gameplay because you know it's going to control just like the multiplayer. Like Call of Duty is not different in the campaign. You know, it looks and feels the same. So we don't need to see any more. If we, you know, if we saw too much, that would be more disappointing than not seeing anything else.
Exactly.
I think they're just really trying to get people that like complained about this game is that there was no story mode.
Right now, they
trying to,
at least have been teased.
Yeah, they need to get those guys excited about it.
I agree.
That's true, yeah. And I mean that as I've been playing this a lot more lately, obviously, just because I'm getting really excited about Battlefront and Battlefront 2, and not only that, but I'm trying to get everything unlocked before the game comes out, just as like a personal goal. So I've been playing a lot more, and one thing I do really wish there was is that break from the multiplayer with just some sort of like, and not only that, but like the one thing that really bugs me about this game is that like even though there are objectives, because there is no voice comm, every like
it's just every
everything is basically it's like steamroll. It's like basically if we can just steamroll over the other team and kill enough of their people, we'll be able to complete the objective. And it's like even though there's time and place for that, like playing Domination in Battlefield 1 or playing King of the Hill in Halo or something like that.
Yeah, but you can talk
like
in those games.
Exactly, but even in those games, like the whole meta of a game completely changes when you can communicate with the team around you.
Yeah,
and
I think that was my biggest takeaway from this game as a gamer. That I couldn't believe there was no chat for something like Walker Assault when that was the only mode that was that big at the time. Yeah, I mean, we know that most of those complaints will be fixed in the new one. I mean, I don't care if they don't show us anything else from Battlefront, honestly. We've seen enough of the star cards, we've seen enough of the characters to get excited. We've seen a map.
Yeah, honestly, I'm hoping we see more of the Visceral game.
But that's all I need. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't really have anything from the Visceral game.
All we have
we haven't had anything at all. We have that little tiny little bit of whatever that was, gameplay, or I don't even know what that was. It said it was showing us like actual gameplay footage, but it was just a guy walking through a doorway on what looked like Tatooine. So
it looked awesome, but it was like
that was it. Yeah, it was nothing at all. So honestly, if anything, not only do we need to see more of another Star Wars game that's not Battlefront, because as much as I love the fact that we're getting a shooter, nice one. As much as I love that we're getting a shooter, it is just that. It's just a shooter. So, unlike we were saying last time around, you might not be able to pull everything that you want from a Star Wars gaming experience. All right, most kills. That you want from this game. So I really like to see a new story-driven. Plus, they're saying it's supposed to play like more like what's its name?
Uncharted?
Yeah, it's supposed to play more like Uncharted, which I'm like, a Star Wars game that plays like Uncharted sounds really cool. Like, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's not a cash cow, it'll be fine.
Yeah, which is tough because it's hard to know. It's hard with Disney and EA and all these big companies to trust that they're gonna handle Star Wars.
Right, and I mean I know Visceral is a little bit. It's the developer. EA is not developing it, so that's good.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
That's true. It's I don't know. I'm very excited, obviously, for any game-related Star Wars news, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. But D23 sounds like it's going to be really cool. It sounds like by the time that's going to be happening this weekend. So by the time that comes around next week, we'll probably be geeking out about a new trailer. I'm hoping and praying and wishing, because it is getting deadly close to December. I mean, the summer is
this is a really late trailer.
It's super late. Do I feel crazy? I feel like maybe I'm being crazy.
No, Force Awakens was way ahead of time. So I was very surprised we didn't get one with Logan, let alone Spider-Man. So I mean,
dude, I thought Spider-Man we were definitely gonna get a trailer. Like, I was waiting for the day after Spider-Man came out to see a trailer.
Yeah, that's the other time I thought.
Really?
It, right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, maybe during Beauty and the Beast too, but still nothing. So D23, it has to happen. There's no way. There's no way it's not gonna happen. I mean, it's their biggest expo of the year. It's their biggest event of the year. It's all Disney. It's not Disney
that's when it's
or
happening.
EA.
It's the last
thing.
chance saloon for it. There's nothing else coming out.
There's no exactly. I was gonna say there's no
and they're
other
not going
big
to
events.
Comic-Con, so you know it won't be Comic-Con.
Exactly.
So yeah,
that's true.
That's what it's got to be.
And there's no other big events, and honestly, like you said, they're not going to Comic-Con, so it's not going to be there. So this is really the only place that we can get a Last Jedi trailer.
Right.
And when it comes to a trailer, because I don't even know as far as what I want to see out of this trailer. And because someone was like, "Oh, what do you want to see? How do you want? Do you want to see more of this or that?" I'm like, dude, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what it is. You can give me anything, and I'll eat it up, dude. Because I just want to see The Last Jedi. Because I just have this feeling that it's going to be insanely epic. When it stacks up next to all the other Star Wars movies, I just know it's gonna be just that. the good one. It's going to be the good one out of these three. I just have that feeling. And as we all know, who are into literature or plays and at any level, the second act is always the best act of any play. So I definitely think that this is going to be like just insanely good. So we'll see what the trailer brings us. But D23 is happening, and we should see a ton of Star Wars stuff. Not only that, but if you're into Marvel or into the Marvel universe,
everything's going to be at D23.
Yeah, Disney owns everything now.
They're talking about an Infinity War teaser. They're talking about the Defenders getting a new trailer. D23 is the new Comic-Con for Disney.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome that they kind of have their own thing, because it's like you see them at, you know, conventions or, you know, like expos here and there, but like for them to have their own, it's pretty sweet because you know, like they're gonna do their they're gonna do the content justice because, you know, they're the ones have it. I mean, they're the ones who are gonna profit off of selling it. So
right.
It's, you know, so we know that whatever we're going to see is going to be really good. So I guess, like, the only good thing about them holding out on a trailer this long is that we know it's going to be awesome. Like, I feel like the only reason why they would hold out this long is
they're
because
building
they're
up
like,
the hype way too big for it to not be amazing. I mean, if
they're
it
giving
sucks,
us
then...
nothing, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting more news on the Han Solo movie than we are on The Last Jedi.
Yeah, no, if the trailer sucks, they're going to hear it from everybody, let alone Star Wars fans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and so like we've like literally been hearing like every other day, like, oh, Han Solo this, like, you know, this is what's going on with this new movie, but like we don't hear much about The Last Jedi. Like they've kept it like pretty under wraps, like
well, that's because it's not filming.
Part.
There's no like sneaky pictures you can get right now because it's not shooting.
That's true. That's true. So but that's true. So we'll see what the trailer looks like, but I'm expecting to see a lot more dialogue in this trailer than in the last one.
Right, just like when the Force Awakens trailers came out. The first one was just, you know, pretty and a little bit of, you know, teasers here and
then
there,
the second one,
and then the second one had the characters and the dialogue.
Yeah, and the second one, I was gonna say, we got like confirmed that like Kylo Ren was Vader's grandson,
right.
Or, you know, like we got a little bit more backstory as far as visual backstory on characters, and we're able to start speculating like much more crazy. But you can definitely bet like after this trailer comes out, it's you know, we're gonna see like much more speculation as towards to like what's gonna be going on with who and then the other. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting, which I can't wait for because honestly, like I'm excited to see like all these characters come together and be in a movie again. But I'm just really stoked about Kylo Ren more than anything. I just really want to see where his storyline goes. Like, I really want to know
whatever they can show us is gonna be awesome for sure.
Dude, yeah. So anything. Plus, I've been seeing a lot more stuff with Andy Serkis and Snoke. So I think we might get maybe get a little sneak preview and see maybe a little bit more about what Snoke's all about. Maybe see a little bit of dialogue. Because we also have to remember that Star Wars does they do everything like really systematically. So when we got the first trailer, it was Luke talking.
Right.
About like how the Jedi, but like, you know, basically Luke representing the light side. I wouldn't be surprised if we, during the second trailer, the monologue we got or the dialogue in the background was somebody who was from the dark side. Yeah. You know what I mean? It would be from someone.
Yeah,
from
that's
Snoke
what it was like
something.
in the Force Awakens too. You had the Snoke voiceover, and then you had the
Maz Kanata, right?
Right. So whatever we get's gonna be cool. I think it will be dark side heavy. I agree. I think just because the movie is going to be dark side heavy and, you know, pretty dark in general.
Oh my god, I can't wait! I can't wait.
That will probably have a lot of that represented in the trailer.
Erica R, I think this was in reference to The Last Jedi and how it's going. She said maybe because it's running smoothly.
Yeah, that's why we're not hearing anything bad about it. Because
I agree. That is probably why.
And the fact that it's, like I said, done. It's done. Like, they've been done for months now with everything. They're done with shooting and reshoots and everything you could possibly need to do. So I think that there's nothing to share. It's not like you can sneak onto set right now and get a
exactly.
picture.
Yeah, and all the stars from the movie are pretty busy, just in general.
Right.
So it's not like
John
they're
Boyega's
doing
got his other
anything
movie
really...
coming out. Mark Hamill just had his movie come out.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie. I think it's Detroit. John
Boyega's
Boyega's in. I think it's
one.
called.
And Mark Hamill had
that looks
Big
really
Bear.
good. That looks really, really good.
Yeah, so it'll be
excited
interesting to see how this, how this goes, because that's one thing that's so different about, modern movies compared to the original trilogy is, like, trailers weren't a thing, and having more than one movie come out in a year wasn't something people did, really. So, I mean, it's they're all way bigger stars than they possibly could have been in the 70s. And I mean, they all have social media and, yeah, but other than Harrison Ford, the original trilogy's trio didn't do much during Star Wars. Whereas this trio is not adhering to that. Daisy Ridley has the Murder on the Orient Express coming out.
Yeah.
And they've all
these
got
guys
something.
keep busy. They keep really busy. Which is good. I'm
Adam
happy
Driver
for that
has his
because
movie.
they're
all of them do.
They're
Gwendolyn
all really
Christie
solid
has
actors
Game of Thrones.
too.
Literally, Andy Serkis
Yeah.
has Planet of the Apes. Literally every single
That's true.
person has something.
They're all working, and they're all like honestly, they're all set up to have some pretty good years for 2017, and then the beginning of 2018. There's a lot of really good movies coming out, and a lot of them look really, like I said, Detroit looks like it looks really good. The way it looks the way they shot it. It looks like it's one of those things where it starts with like him starting the story and then like kind of looking back and then catching up. So I always like those kind of movies. So we'll see how that all pans out. But you're right. They work a lot, yet they still find time for Star Wars. Like Mark Hamill to me is probably like the epitome of what I wish all celebrities were like. He's like the best dude in the world. Like he always makes time to like respond to tweets from his fans, and he's not one of those like actors like Harrison Ford, as awesome as he is, he can be a little bit more curmudgeon-y about Star Wars than the other guys. So it's like it's nice to see like Mark Hamill and these guys, like they love Star Wars so much. I mean, John Boyega, like you can't get a bigger Star Wars fan than him.
Right.
I remember when they released the first
his
trailer,
trailer
he was,
reaction.
like, nerding out.
Yeah,
that was like
him and Daisy
Ridley.
so happy.
Yeah.
No,
they both make you feel like if you were in Star Wars, that's how you would feel. They both make you feel super down to earth.
When he first turned on the lightsaber,
yeah, he's like jumping on the couch. Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. Like, I was listening to him talk about telling his dad that he got the role in Star Wars, and his dad was like, really happy for him, and he's like, oh, that's so great, what Star Wars?
Right.
Because they're from like Africa,
They're from
it's like I have no
Nigeria,
clue what that is. But
great.
I was like, that's amazing, dude. Like that's so awesome. But yeah, I guess like I was if anybody's had a chance to, because I've been rewatching a lot of the special features lately, while I like play games and stuff like that. And the special features like for the Force Awakens movie are really good. They got really in depth. You get to know the cast like really well, and John Boyega is like honestly the star of the special features. Like like you said, basically like if you got to be in a Star Wars movie, that's how he acts is
Absolutely,
how you would act.
Yeah, they're super real people. Daisy Ridley too.
Oh yeah, and he's in love with it. Yeah, she's also like they both are just in love with the franchise. So same with Adam Driver. Same with him. Like he loves it too. So it's like it's great that they all like love the franchise so much. And that's also something we were talking about. Like when people handle the Star Wars, stuff, it's nice to see like people handle it who actually care about it and love it, because you can tell the difference. Like you can see the difference between people who like love like the Marvel movies and get to direct a movie, and then the people who get to direct Marvel movies and they maybe not be the biggest fans, and they don't really care. Exactly. So you can definitely tell the difference. So I feel like the one thing that George Lucas instilled upon Kathleen Kennedy was like, make sure whoever is involved in this make sure they they want to be, and they take care of it, which is why the Han Solo movie might not have been working out with the directors, because maybe they were adhering to that whole policy of make sure they want to be around, and who knows what happened. I'm still super curious. I really want to know.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. Honestly,
I don't think it does either. I think the movie's going to be good either way.
Anything that would have happened because of it has happened. Like, it's either going to be bad because of that, or it's going to be fun. And Disney's not going to let it be bad. No,
they're not.
Because, yeah.
Which is why some people probably, because you have to think, like, I think everyone's thinking about it in the sense that, like, oh, it's a bad thing, but like you know, or like, oh, maybe Disney doesn't know what they're doing because they did it, but it's like you have to remember, like, Disney isn't going to let anything bad happen to Star Wars, so maybe like where other people or other studios would have just been like, you know what, they're here, we're already through principal shooting, like, we're not gonna like go back on this now, like, we're gonna be fine.
Try to make some money off of it.
Yeah, let's just try to make the money and sell what we can, which we've seen before in a lot of movies, like, especially recently. Like, they'll just crap out anything and be like, let's hope it lands. Disney actually has, like, the stones to be like, no, this isn't gonna work. Let's do what's gonna happen.
No, there's too much riding on it. They put too much money into it. So if anything,
I trust them. Oh yeah, if anything, I trust them with anything at this point, because I really don't feel like they're doing a bad job. I haven't seen Spider-Man yet. I'm hoping to go see it soon. But I haven't seen Spider-Man yet. But apparently, it's really good from what I've heard so far. A lot of people really like Spider-Man. So, and apparently it did what it was supposed to do, which was kind of like get kids back into it and kind of bring them back to like a younger audience.
Right, get them ready for Infinity War and all that stuff. Yeah, it's
yeah.
Awesome.
So apparently it did its job, which I'm happy with, because I've been kind of boo-hooing on superhero movies lately, which is a bummer because I miss the days of like the old school, you know, X-Men movies. Those were really good, and old school Spider-Man movies and Iron Man 2 and stuff like that. I feel like those are really good superhero movies, and it's been weird since then. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, they've been just too formulaic. Every movie is just a cookie cutter of the same thing, whereas this one isn't. In my opinion. I mean, there's some stuff that every superhero movie does and will continue to do, obviously. But but I think in general, there's just less adherence to those tropes, which makes it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, so they seem to be doing everything right so far, so I'm not too concerned. But like I said, we'll see this weekend, and we'll be able to definitely. It'll be nice because, well, see, here's the issue with speculation. It's like whenever we get something new, so one speculation stops and another one begins. So we'll have some questions answered that we have, but then we'll have more questions after because we'll have new stuff to worry about. So who knows? In the last trailer, we saw books for the first time in the universe of Star Wars. We saw paper for the very first time, which was amazing, and like super important to the Star Wars line or to the Star Wars like lore. And then not only that, but we heard a super discouraged and not so happy Luke. He didn't seem so. He didn't seem as okay, which is that's definitely not like the Luke we know. I mean, the Luke from Days of Old was like this happy-go-lucky farm boy.
I mean, there's times where he's serious, but he's not mopey.
Yeah, he's definitely not mopey, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. And also, you know, it's a good segue because we had said last week we would talk about the Obi-Wan movie and speculation, if there is one, speculation about what may be in that. And one of our viewers last week, I don't think he's on right now, but he had said that and I'm going to mess up his name, the character from whom Obi-Wan receives the information about Kamino, the big fat guy in the diner, in episode 2.
Oh, yep. I can't remember his name
or something like that. He said that guy's and he might have been trolling us on YouTube, but he's saying that he's supposedly you know, a character in the Obi-Wan script if it exists, and that their relationship as, like, you know, information spies is built on in the movie, which would be interesting if the movie takes place prior to episode 2 and after episode 1. But if it takes place after 3 and before 4, then that doesn't make any sense.
Then that wouldn't make much sense at all, yeah.
But if it's, like I said, if it's after 3, before 4, that would be pretty, you know. That's the era I would prefer the movie to take place in. because I'm way more interested in Ewan McGregor being a little bit older than he is in 3 and a little bit younger than Alec Guinness is in 4. So I think that's a way more interesting time. Even if, I mean, obviously you can't just be living on a rock if that's the case, though. They have to do something more interesting than being on Tatooine the whole time. But
for 3 hours.
yeah, that could be cool as an era. I don't know. I mean, there's some interesting speculation to be had. And also, you know, potential villains, because obviously it couldn't be Darth Maul because that was such a big deal in the Clone Wars show. And then it couldn't really be much Sith because they're gone, other than Vader. It could do with him, you know, trying to hunt down and save remaining Jedi, like the Force Unleashed games. But I don't know. I don't really know what would be the most interesting or fun to watch. I just know that it's you know.
I was thinking like I was thinking as far as storyline goes, I don't know how interesting this would be, but well, I don't know, because it was really kind of an easy thing. Like I was like, someone's like, oh, maybe they could tell the story of kind of like how he like got Luke to Tatooine, but I'm like, I don't know. They kind of told that he just dropped him off.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there before. He knows that
he's been to Tatooine before. Yeah, he knows exactly where to go, and
it's not like they're running away from anybody because Vader doesn't know about it. So I mean,
because nobody knows he's still alive. I think it would be interesting to see him try to like search out remaining Jedi, like leave Tatooine for a little while, and then like maybe that's the conflict. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to be gone. I'm supposed to be like doing this thing, and
that would be
but
the
I'm
one
like
thing,
you know the call to the Force, like type of thing. So
or his
that would be
learnings from
interesting.
Qui-Gon about creating a Force ghost. That would be cool.
That would be cool, yeah. Because we got to see a little bit of that in the Clone Wars with Yoda.
Right.
Yoda went and talked to Qui-Gon, but it would be nice to see that in like a movie setting. Honestly, now that I try to think about it, I'm like, man, what would the plot?
What would the concept be?
Exactly. That's
what would the concept be? I'm like, I don't really know.
That's what I was about to say. Is that an Obi-Wan story? I don't mind seeing, but I think it would be cool as a comic. I think that if you're gonna do another movie like Rogue One and Han Solo, then it might be way more interesting as a movie as Boba Fett. I mean, Obi-Wan's a way better character than Boba Fett, but Boba Fett has more stories to tell that aren't told yet. Unless it's super young Obi-Wan. Like, I remember when I was a kid, they had the Young Jedi books, like the Padawan books, where Qui-Gon was his master, and Obi-Wan was 12 or 13. And those books were pretty cool, and they fought a lot of cool characters like pirates and stuff. But then it's got nothing to do with Ewan McGregor. That would be a cool comic or a cool TV show. If the movie's gonna have Ewan McGregor, then I can't decide what could possibly be interested. Erica says maybe he finds love, but I don't know. Like, unless they reveal in Last Jedi that they're Rey's parents or something, I just don't see it being compelling and also being in keeping with his character. If they just throw a love story in there to try and make it a movie, then it's not Obi-Wan to me.
Yeah.
I think Boba Fett would have way cooler stories to tell in a movie form, and Disney knows that. Like, if they want to make a Guardian-style movie with Boba Fett, there you go. Like,
Boba Fett would be good because
make a Boba Fett movie and
he could fight anybody. You could do you could make characters up. You could do literally anything you want. Yeah. But you couldn't do that with Obi-Wan. I mean, unless you did him super young. But we already know everything he does. He spends 40 years on Tatooine.
We could have best of both worlds, honestly. Like, because they existed in the same timeline, and at the same time, like, Boba was young when Obi-Wan was already, like, an adult, and so was Anakin.
Right.
And so, I think, like, there could be a way where maybe, we're getting like, possibly Obi-Wan, possibly Obi-Wan movie. Then we get announced a Boba Fett movie. I could definitely see Ewan McGregor playing an older version of himself as kind of the main protagonist, almost like the backdrop to Boba Fett, where maybe Boba Fett's like, all right, I figured out that Obi-Wan's still alive on Tatooine, and like that's his like ultimate goal to get there. And the only issue that I would have with I wouldn't have an issue with it, I guess. The only thing about the Boba Fett movie is that the guy who's played the voice of Boba Fett in Jango Fett, and who played Jango in the movies, he's been the voice for all the clones, for everything. Like, if it has anything to do, if it is a lineage, in any lineage at all to Jango Fett, this guy's played. I can't remember his name, and I feel so stupid for not being able to. But he's played the character. And so the only thing that might like pull me away from it a little bit would be seeing a Boba Fett that's not him. But honestly, I could get over that if they find the right actor. I could definitely get over that.
That would be like an Uncharted movie without Nolan North, and they solved that by going the young Uncharted route and putting Tom Holland in it. So, I mean, we'll see. You just get any big-name Hollywood actor in there, and Disney's going to make it. I think that, for me, Boba Fett would just be more interesting because, like I said, there's more to tell. You could either do it after Jedi and explain how he gets out of the Sarlacc pit and how he, you know, survive. Or you could kill that canon like they did with everything else and and make it pre-New Hope, or you could put it between New Hope and Empire. You could have Jabba, you could have Bossk, you could have all the bounty hunters and make it you could make anything. You could make a Suicide Squad about bounty hunters, or you could make Guardians movie about just Boba Fett. I mean, you could do literally anything.
I would like to see a Boba Fett movie. That's true. You are very pigeonholed. Now, the only reason why I want to see a Boba Fett movie is because the amount of like practical effects you could use for that, just in the sense of like bringing a bunch of aliens onto the screen at once. Because Rogue One was very like, it was very Empire based, like, you know, so that means there was just a lot of humans in it, and there wasn't as many. We didn't see a lot of like.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of compelling new Star Wars stuff other than the tentacle mind reader thing.
Yeah, and seeing a bounty hunter movie, like, they kind of deal with like the seedy underbelly of the Star Wars world. So we'd see a lot more practical effects in the sense like we'd see a lot more people in, you know, costumes and a lot more aliens, which I think would be. Which is one of my favorite things about Star Wars in general.
Yeah, it would definitely be more. It would suck you into the universe more than Rogue One did, I think.
Yeah, and like you said, you do pigeonhole yourself with Obi-Wan because you can go to more worlds with Boba Fett because, like you said, he is a bounty hunter. Yeah, you can do anything you want, and you can make new stuff up. Like in Rogue One, you got Scarif for the first time. You got K2SO. You got all this stuff that you would never have had, and. You can't do that with Obi-Wan because we all know literally everything that he's ever done. So if you're gonna break canon, his storyline is pretty fleshed out.
Unless
like,
you're gonna
honestly,
give him a love
like
interest, in which case you're breaking Obi-Wan's character. If you're just putting it in there to make it a Disney movie, then we have bigger problems. And I don't think they're stupid enough to do that. I think they should make an Obi-Wan TV show or comic or something. If you want to make it super young, Obi-Wan's cool. I am sad to never see Ewan McGregor play the character again. But at the same time, there's not much else to do.
Jason Wingreen. Thank you, Erica R. She got that. She corrected me on that. I appreciate that. Yeah, so that's the guy who played like basically any version of the clone at all. Which I think was awesome for continuity's sake, because when you go and watch the Clone Wars series, like seeing all the clones and having the same voice, and then go and watch the movies and that's the same voice, and it's really awesome. And then, like you said, I think if I was going to see Obi-Wan in any setting, I'd like to see a comic book at this point. I don't know. Like, the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I would like to see... Yeah, I don't want to see another TV show. The only thing that's even a
little bit, like, tickles my fancy about it is Ewan McGregor. honestly, that's it. Like, I love
That's the only thing, but like I said, we could see him in a Boba Fett movie. You don't need a whole movie just for him.
Yeah,
like,
if you do Boba Fett prior to New Hope. And plus, I mean, don't forget, Boba Fett's on Tatooine in New Hope, so maybe he has some sort of interaction with Obi-Wan at the end of his movie.
That's what I mean. Like that's like how we got Leia when they closed out A New Hope.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was like the biggest part of the movie.
Ewan McGregor. I mean,
you have Ewan McGregor,
really, exactly. Because Alec Guinness was.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Ewan McGregor isn't like, he's not necessarily like old, but he's no spring chicken anymore.
No,
so
and
I
you
definitely
can make him look old, obviously.
Oh yeah, dude. All they got to do is tell him to grow his beard out a little bit. He's already got the grays coming, dude. Like, grow out your beard. Just don't, look a little tired this morning, and
hunch
you'll be
your
good.
Shoulders a little bit.
Yeah, hunch your shoulders.
He's a good enough actor that he could do it. I mean,
just talk a little bit more like just talk a little bit more like Alec Guinness, because honestly, like, when you line up, and they did a really good job of putting these things together in Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and Star Wars Rebels, and, you know, all this stuff, like, if you line up Ewan McGregor next to Alec Guinness all these years later, and, like, you kind of, like, in the changing of his voice, they kind of, like, not talk about and whatever, but, like, you can buy it. Like, it's like, oh, over time, he just got older, you know what I mean? Your voice doesn't necessarily change, but it just gets raspier because you get older. Not only that, but, like, they looked similar enough to be like, okay, yeah, I could definitely see him aging and then looking like this, no worries. Like, and they have that same, like, gentlemanly, like, oh, it was a classier time.
Right. So uncivilized. Yeah.
So uncivilized.
I agree with that.
So
and plus
I don't know, like,
their voices melded in Force Awakens, where, you know,
which was really cool.
Yeah,
which
that was
so
probably my favorite part.
The Force Awakens
came in
did
just
such a
to
good
record
job.
one word, like, and rode up into the sunset on his Harley. That's so cool to me. And plus, they
did
were
the
able
same
to
thing with
sample out
what's his name? Yeah, they did the same thing with what's his name? What's his name who played Palpatine? He came in to do like literally like one noise that he had made during during the prequels. Like that's how that's
cool
how
that
devoted
they
to
paid
it
that
they
much
were.
attention to it. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, but you know what? That's why I feel like people think that Star Wars fans are nuts because we'll pay attention to like every little tiny detail and be like, oh no, this must be this.
I sat up in the movie theater when I heard Alec Guinness's voice. I was like, what? It was just so cool.
Exactly, like you have to pay attention to that stuff because that might be like, that might be the stuff that's like giving away the things like we want to know.
Right, the little tiny Easter eggs are everything in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, they really are. Even though it was like, I got annoyed about it. Like the one Easter egg that bothers me in Rogue One is when we see the guys from the bar or from the cantina.
It's cool, but it's like, why are you doing this?
It irritated me only because I'm like, dude, the universe is massive.
Yeah.
How is it that we just happened to run into these two assholes? And they're like, are they just being jerks all over the galaxy? Like that's their job.
There was a lot of fan service
when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's cool.
It was less forced. Like there's a lot of like little tiny things that are obvious callbacks to the original trilogy.
But they also needed it for Force Awakens.
Right,
like we also needed it because how long had it been since we had a movie? You know what I mean? Like it had been forever since we had a movie. Not only that, but like people keep saying like, oh, it was a lot like, you know, the originals. I'm like, there's a whole generation of people who did not see or did not grow up with the originals, but still absolutely love Star Wars. Like
and that's
my
not
little
new to
brother
Star Wars
loves
either.
it.
They have shot-for-shot like little things in all of the prequels that are mirror visions of the original trilogy. I don't know why people complain about that. I get that, like they said, it's basically the same story as New Hope, which again I disagree with, but I can see that being a good point more than I can see.
It's the same people complaining about cross-era play.
Right, exactly. Shut up. Like,
exactly.
I thought that the little chessboard in Force Awakens or the training drone on
that was amazing,
dude.
And the best part about that,
and they made sense. Like you didn't have to show two random faces on this giant planet in this giant galaxy.
And the best part about that is like we just said, like we get these little bits of story when you pay attention, and if you pay attention, and I only know this because I watched the special features, but like when it comes to the chessboard, like if you pay attention, where Luke had like turned it on, like stumbled upon or whatever, and then turned it off, Finn turned it back on exactly where he had left off. So that chess game hadn't got turned on since Luke had turned it off for that 60 years. Cool. Which is really cool. Like that's incredibly cool. Like that's stuff like that. That's like it's amazing. Like if you look,
and
the
it's
chess...
okay in the continuity. Like it's not.
Yes.
It's not totally asinine that might happen. Whereas the two guys in that planet, that would never happen. Literally never.
That would never happen. It would never. And why would she pay attention enough to them to like turn around like, hey, what are you bumping into me for? Like, it was so forced. Anyway. It was forced, honestly. And
whereas Force Awakens
love
had a lot of fan service, but none of it was forced.
It was exactly, and it really felt organic, and it, like I said, it was needed. Like we were finally being like brought back into the series. I wanted to see those moments where, like, it was like that nostalgia factor. Like, oh man, like I had this like, I mean, I don't know. You guys went and saw it together, or you said you saw it with Will Dearborn, right?
I saw it with Will, yeah.
Yeah,
think we
so
no,
you
we
saw
didn't
it
see
in...
together. I saw it in theaters probably 12 times. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah, like, I know, like, if you went and saw it in the theater and you went and saw it with someone else who was also, like, a Star Wars fan, you had those moments where things
like,
happened and you looked at each other like, oh, shit, dude, oh my god, did he really just say that? Like, or the moment where Han walked onto the Death Star, I teared up. Like, I teared up, and, like, my buddy who was with me didn't, like, it was no judgments. He was just like, yeah, man, this is, like, super intense. Because, like, you get it. Like, it's Star Wars. Like, seeing Han walk back onto, you know, the Millennium Falcon, to me, was, like, one of, like, even now I get goosebumps just talking about it. Because, like, like, if Star Wars meant anything to you and you could connect with those characters at all, the connection between, like, Han and his ship, and Han and Chewbacca, like, that's his family. Like, the only family, the only family that Han Solo had before Leia and Luke was his ship and his Wookiee. That was it. That's all. So, like, seeing him stumble back on there and say we're home, like, you really don't, like, if you understood what he meant by, like, we're home, it's like, oh man, right? Like, oh my god, this is gonna be so good. Like,
or when they said, like, not that hunk of junk, and they run by the Falcon. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that's the best thing ever. She's like, oh, that's a piece of garbage. It's like blows up. The garbage will do. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Like, that is incredible. Like, but yeah, and then, like, it was simple stuff like that that, like, it made you, like, fall back in love with it. So I wasn't upset with it in Force Awakens, but like you said, I felt a little weird about it in Rogue One. But we have a lot more of Star Wars that we're going to be getting in the near future. So, like, there's been not necessarily a lull, because we have been getting news about, like I said, the Han Solo movie, and we've been getting a little bit of news about Episode 9. Not much, just kind of just about the director and how he's doing. But so we haven't gotten much. So we are, like, we're about to turn that corner where
everything
the
comes
summer's,
fast and furious.
like I said, the summer is almost over, and we always know, like, all right, guys, like, they want to get us ready for the holiday season. They want to get us ready for the holiday movies.
These are the toys you're going to be buying your kids in Christmas time.
Exactly, like, exactly, dude. That's what I'm so excited for the toys. I can't wait for the toys, man. Oh my god, I can't. Dude, Kylo Ren with a scar. I can't wait to get my Kylo Ren with a scar doll. Like, that's what I want to add to my Vader and all my other Darksiders that I got hanging out. But yeah, so there's a lot more Star Wars coming. We're gonna get more about the new game that's coming out, more about Battlefront 2 that's coming out. So D23 is definitely going to be the event to watch this weekend. I think, like I said, Saturday at 3 o'clock our time, 1 o'clock Jared's time, I believe.
No, it'll be 3 and 12.
3 and 12. Okay, so no, I was wrong. Thank you for correcting me. 4 o'clock our time then, because it's 1 o'clock your time. So that means it's 4 o'clock our time. I forgot that it was not 2 hours; it's 3 hours. My bad. I don't know time zones, people. I don't know time zones.
And I'll be posting a reaction video. You know, just a 2-minute snippet right then.
Nice. That'll be awesome. So yeah, that'll be cool, and so you'll be able to see how we feel about it, which I'm sure we'll have nothing bad to say.
Oh yeah, I'll be pretty messy in the video. I'm gonna have to clean up first.
Yeah, because
I have to take a shower and a nap.
Like, the hype, I gotta relax for a little bit after it, because the hype is like, we're at, like, a weird part right now. We're at a weird lull.
Yeah, no, this is
like,
the Fast and Furious. You're gonna
happen.
get TV teasers. You're gonna get them before any movie, because there's so many summer blockbusters coming out that are gonna show the trailer. You got Planet of the Apes. They'll probably start to show with Spider-Man.
Not to mention new movie posters. We're gonna get new movie posters too.
And the current posters is really sick. It's one of
oh my god, dude! The one they released for what was it? E3, I think they dropped it. No. It was when they. Oh no, it was for the Star Wars weekend. It was like.
It was a long time ago. It was back in March. I think.
It was a while back ago when they the first trailer came out. It was when that first came out. They That was, oh my god, that poster's so good. And the fact that I still don't have it kind of annoys me. But,
yeah, it's really neat colorways. It's really pretty, lots of subtle details.
straight back to the original like poster. Yeah, to the original hand-drawn one. And that's like, and like I said, man, I don't know, like people get annoyed, like, oh, why do they keep redoing these things? I'm like, I love it, man.
No,
like, I love it, man.
Yeah.
Keep bringing me back. Like, I love the nostalgia of it. But
yeah, that
yeah, guys,
is really dope.
It's we're like we said, we're about to get a bunch of new stuff. So next time we talk, expect us to have plenty to talk about. Because I don't even want to try to plan any topics because we already know like there's going to be a bunch of new stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
so,
keep your eyes peeled for a reaction video on Saturday. Like I said, 2 minutes after we get a trailer, I'll be live.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see that. I'm more excited about Adam's reaction to the trailer than actually
the trailer itself.
Than the trailer itself. So yeah, and then check out the live stream yourselves, guys. Like if you do get a chance, like make sure you check out the live stream and see what's going on. Yeah, check us out first for sure. Always every Wednesday, check us out. I went to go put up a video today, but then realized we were doing a live stream, so I didn't post the video today. We're gonna be, like I said, trying to get stuff out more often. We're on the road to 50 subs. We're trying to get 50 subs on our channel, so help us out with that. We would love.
How many we got right now?
Help. Right now we're like halfway there actually.
Yeah,
we're at 23 or 24 or something like that. So we're almost halfway there. So we're working on it, guys, and it only happens if you guys check us out. So we see that we'll see you guys on Facebook and Twitter and on Instagram and all these places. So
he asked which gun I'm using, and it's the A180 pistol. It's Jin's gun from Rogue One, and I use it because it transforms. So left bumper gives you a sniper, holding down triangle gives you an assault rifle, and right bumper gives you a pulse. What's it called? God, an electromagnetic.
Ion cannon, right?
Yeah, ion cannon, right. So you can't use star cards with it, but you can pick up boosts, and it's really sick. And each kill reduces the cooldown time. It's probably the best gun in the game. If you
I will say
if you aim, it's the best gun.
If you go for headshots, it's definitely the best gun. If you're in close quarters, it's sweet, and like you said, he has like it has the sniper on it.
Right, you can switch back and forth between game types with it. I mean, the only gun that I would put up there with it is that the heavy repeater, but that's only if you never use the left trigger. If you use the left trigger, it's not worth using. Whereas this gun is good in any circumstance.
Yeah, the heavy repeater is nice because it actually has some decent range on it, which I didn't realize until I was using it. However, there is no kick at all. And I will say, I will have to disagree with you as far as the best gun or as the best blaster in the game. My favorite is the DT-29.
Oh, it's not my favorite. My favorite is Han's gun.
That's your favorite one?
The DL-44?
Yeah, DL-44. Because when this game came out, that was one of the pre-ordered bonuses.
They had to nerf it, dude. They had to nerf it. It was so beast.
It shot as quickly as you could. It was like an FAL.
Yeah, it was like a two-shot.
Yeah.
That gun was broken.
It was done. It was done, dude. Headshots all day, you were done. Like, it was awesome.
This is just my favorite gun from the DLC.
Oh yeah, from the DLC, I will say like I said, the DT-29 is my favorite. The Krennic's gun, I love that it has projectiles. I love it, dude. It's awesome. And not only that, but the EE-44.
Oh yeah,
that one is awesome. That one's awesome too. You know what's funny is that we very rarely ever actually talk about Star Wars Battlefront, this game,
as we're playing
it. But I really do love this game, and there is like a little bit of strategy to it, somewhat. Not much, because it really is just a running gun. Yeah. It's not really anything too crazy, so I don't really ever get into deep with it, because once Battlefront 2 comes out, we'll actually sit and talk about different, like, you know, we'll talk about more actual gaming stuff, like how to flank, how to do this, like, you know, different maps, different ways to attack points.
Characters.
Exactly, yeah. We'll definitely talk about, you know, heroes and how to use them. This game is definitely It's just a big fun sandbox where you can just run around and shoot stuff, and maybe you get to play as maybe sometimes you get to play as as a character, maybe you don't. Like, it's really, I don't know. It's nothing to get too deep into, and it's been out so long that honestly, you guys know about this game. Yeah. Like, you know what's up with it. Like, there's nothing really more to say about it. So,
yeah, I think the only thing I really like beyond just having fun is the Death Star stuff. I think that stuff's really cool.
Oh, the Death Star stuff was the best DLC content. Period. That was Rogue One was nice, or getting scared stuff. But
even
honestly,
Jakku
the Death
was
Star
cool
stuff
because it was before Force Awakens, so it was like, oh my god, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, Jakku was awesome. Yeah, Jakku was awesome. Also, just real quick, speaking of Jakku, and another shout out to the books, read the Aftermath series because the Battle of Jakku happens in that book, in that series. Like, we get to know and the whole time as I'm reading through it, I'm like looking out for like hints of Rey. I'm like, please mention some little girl sitting somewhere. like I just want them to. So they never happen, but read the books because we get like you know what happens to Emperor, but like that red-faced dude in the trailer for Battlefront 2 who has Palpatine's face, like we know, like you get to know everything that's what's up with that and why it's even happening. So those are awesome books. But yeah, so guys, and the last thing is pretty soon, I don't know when we're gonna do it, but I just have been recently reading through and I know Adam has these books too, but I've just been recently reading through they're Star Wars books, but they're the script as if it was written by Shakespeare.
Yeah,
yes.
Those are awesome.
And they're hilarious. They're really, really funny and
they're
really good. They're really well done.
Yeah.
They're really well done. Like I have the Empire Strikes Back. I got it for my birthday, and I was reading through it today because I've been kind of incapacitated, so I've been doing a lot of reading, and it's really it's amazing. So I don't know if you have it, Jared. If you don't, I'm definitely gonna email you guys. I'll email you guys a scene, and we'll do a scene on one of the episodes. Not the next one, because I know we're gonna be talking about D23. But we'll do like maybe our favorite scene out of the Empire because it's so stinking good, dude. It's so sick. And I can't help but read it with like, so I see the characters in my mind, but they have British, like old British accents. That's how I see it read. Like, it just, oh my god, it's the best. Like I'm like, I would love to see like a live version of this played out in front of me because it's just so well done and hilarious. Oh my god, I would definitely pay to go see that. But especially because Mark Hamill is such a thespian that I could see him like acting out Luke in this way now that he's older, because he's such because he's such a actor, like he's such an actor's actor. But yeah, like I said, that's gonna be something fun to do in the future. But we have some more content coming out. We're trying to keep up with all those other big players out there who are putting stuff out all the time. And trying to get our name out there. So we're trying to get to 50 subs. Help us out with that. We are on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram now, because we're cool like that.
We're killing it.
Cool, we're young and hip.
We're killing the social media game.
We're on Instagram. We're killing the social media game. The Kardashians would be proud of us right now. All we need to do is put out a special tape, and we'll be
we'll have Adam with Ray J.
Reggie Bush.
Oh god, that's all. And then immediately they lose any fan that
We're reaching out.
We're trying to branch in any direction we can, guys. Any direction.
Multiple at once.
Wink, wink. Yeah, no. Awesome. So yeah, guys, you can find us basically anywhere. Soon to be on some more nefarious websites, I guess. But but yeah, we're out there. Look for us every week on Wednesday. I'm gonna start streaming more regularly. Maybe like nights, or try to come up with a schedule of streaming, because I see like a lot of you guys like to just chill and hang out on live streams. So I'll try to do that, and maybe you can help us to get to 50 subs, and after that maybe 100. That would be nice. I don't know. We'll see.
1,000.
We'll see if we can get there. But yeah, maybe 1,000. We'll see. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with us again. I am Chaz with. I forgot to introduce my co-host in any capacity or form last week, so I'm sorry. So I'm with Jared, who has no last name.
Our reputation
I don't know it. And yeah, you guys already know who these clowns are. And Adam is with me as well, who is pretty cool, I guess. He's here. So sometimes. So they're always joining me every Wednesday, and you can find us at Talking Sith on any social media platform. We are the same thing at Talking Sith. Every Wednesday we'll be here, and we will see you guys next week with some cool D23 news, hopefully.
Keep an eye out on Saturday for a reaction. Yeah,
check out Saturday for our reaction video. Adam's definitely going to have one up. If I'm not entrenched in work, which I think I might be, if I'm not at the time, then I will definitely make a reaction video as well. But yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
Later.
Peace.